Listen to me closely, because I am about to surgically remove the cataract of delusion from your eyes, and it is going to hurt. I want you to visualize the last time you went out to dinner. I am talking about one of those places with dim lighting, overpriced appetizers, and a waiter who judges you based on your watch. You finish the meal, you wipe the grease off your lips with a cloth napkin, and then the moment of truth arrived. The little leather folder. You didn't reach for a crumpled wad of cash. No, you reached into your pocket and pulled out that heavy, cold, metallic rectangle. Maybe it is platinum. Maybe it is gold. Maybe it is black if you are truly deep in the delusion. You dropped it on the tray. Clack. That specific sound of metal hitting plastic? You looked around to see if anyone heard it. You felt a rush of dopamine, a surge of power. You felt rich. Now, let me tell you what actually happened in that moment. You did not pay for that meal. You promised to pay for it later, with money you likely have not earned yet, to impress people who do not care about you, using a tool designed by a bank to keep you on a leash for the rest of your natural life. You think you are a king because you have a high limit on your American Express? You are a rat. You are a rat with a shiny, heavy collar. You are suffering from a terminal case of being premium poor. You are walking around with a credit limit of $50,000 and a bank account balance of $4,000. And you think you are winning the game. You are not winning, you are the product. You are the financial beef cattle that the system is fattening up for the slaughter, and you are cheering for the butcher because he gave you some airline miles. We need to deconstruct this absolute insanity, this collective hallucination that has taken over society. We need to talk about the difference between having purchasing power and having actual wealth, because the Matrix has convinced you they are the same thing. They are not. Purchasing power is permission. Wealth is sovereignty. When you swipe that card, you are asking for permission. You are saying, "Dear massive banking conglomerate, may I please have this stake?" And the bank looks at your credit score, which is nothing more than an obedience score, a metric of how good of a slave you have been in the past. And they say, "Yes, little rat, you may have the stake, but remember who owns you." Let's go deeper. Let's talk about the architecture of this trap. The system is designed by geniuses, evil geniuses, but geniuses nonetheless. They understood decades ago that if they could separate the pain of paying from the pleasure of consuming, they could turn you into an endless consumption machine. When you pay with cash, physical paper money, it hurts. There's a psychological pain trigger in the brain. You see the resources leaving your hand. You feel the loss. But the card is anesthetic. It numbs the pain center. It turns a transaction into a frictionless abstraction. You swipe, you tap, you insert, and you get the dopamine hit of the new toy, the new meal, the new experience, without the corresponding pain of resource depletion. This creates a dissonance in your brain. You start to feel richer than you are, because you are consuming like a rich person, even though your net worth is stagnant or plummeting. You are living in a simulation of wealth. This is the definition of the premium poor. You drive a German car that is on a lease. You live in a condo that belongs to the bank. You wear clothes branded with the names of other men to signal status to strangers, and you pay for it all with a piece of plastic that charges you 25% interest if you slip up for even 1 second. You are walking a tightrope over a canyon of ruin, and you are juggling flaming torches because the crowd is clapping. But let me tell you something. The crowd is not clapping for you. The crowd is waiting for you to fall so they can feel better about their own miserable tightrope walk. Let's look at the math. The brutal, cold, unforgiving math that you ignore because it scares you. Let's talk about the points game. This is my favorite delusion. I meet these rats all the time. They puff up their chests and tell me, but I get 4 times the points on dining and travel. I am hacking the system. Listen to me, you absolute muppet. You are not hacking a multi-trillion-dollar industry. You are not smarter than the algorithm. Do you think they built those skyscrapers in Manhattan and Charlotte by giving away free money? They built them on the backs of people who think they are getting a deal. Let's do some napkin math, some real bakery mathematics. You spend an extra 20% on everything you buy because you are not price sensitive. Why aren't you price sensitive? Because of the anesthesia I just mentioned? You don't feel the money leaving. So you buy the premium brand, you order the extra cocktail, you upgrade the hotel room, you justify it by saying, I am getting points. So you overspend by thousands of dollars a year to earn a free economy class ticket to Florida that is worth $300. You are trading thousands of dollars of your hard-earned capital for pennies in rewards, and you are walking around like you are Warren Buffett. It is pathetic. It is the behavior of a peasant who is happy because the Lord gave him a crumb of bread after stealing his harvest. And that is the best case scenario. That is, if you pay the balance in full every single month. But we know the statistics. We know the truth. The majority of you do not do that. Life happens. The transmission blows on the leased BMW. The dog gets sick. You lose your job because the corporation you slave for decided to boost its quarterly earnings by firing you. Suddenly, that balance rolls over. And now, the math shifts from bad to catastrophic. Now you are paying 20, 25, 30% interest. Do you understand what 30% interest is? It is financial cancer. It is a mathematical impossibility to build wealth when you are dragging a 30% anchor behind you. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the middle class that credit is an asset. Credit is not an asset. Credit is a liability disguised as an opportunity. It is toxic leverage. Real rich people, the people who have actual mental sovereignty, they do not care about their credit limit. They care about liquidity. They care about equity. They care about cash flow. If I want to buy a car, I write a check. If I want to buy a house, I wire the funds. I do not ask a bank for permission, and I certainly do not care about accumulating membership rewards, points that can be devalued at any moment by a change in the terms of service. But you are obsessed with the color of the card. Is it gold? Is it platinum? Is it the Centurion? Let me tell you about the Centurion card, the famous black card. It is the ultimate idiot tax. You pay thousands of dollars in initiation fees and thousands more in annual fees for the privilege of carrying a piece of metal that tells the world, I am insecure and I need you to know I have money. It is a beacon for parasites. When you flash that card, you are signaling to every scammer, every gold digger, and every salesman that you are an easy mark. You are signaling that you value appearance over substance. You are telling the world that your ego is for sale, and the price is high, fees, and bad decisions. Let's talk about the concierge service. This is another lie they sell you. Oh, I have a concierge who can get me tickets to the opera. You have a Google search bar in your pocket that is faster and more efficient. You are paying for a relic of the 90s. You are paying for the illusion of having a butler because you are desperate to feel like aristocracy. But you are not aristocracy. You are a serf in a cubicle. You are a serf who wears a suit and has a LinkedIn profile, but a serf nonetheless. You trade your time for money, and then you give that money to the bank to pay for the image of a life you do not actually have time to enjoy. Think about the irony of the premium poor lifestyle. You work 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You endure stress that spikes your cortisol and shortens your lifespan. You miss your children's milestones. You neglect your health. Why? To pay for a house with a pool you never swim in because you are at work? To pay for a luxury car that sits in traffic or in a parking garage while you are in a meeting? To pay for a vacation that you spend checking your email because you are terrified of losing the job that pays for the vacation? You have built a golden cage and you have locked yourself inside and you handed the key to the credit card company. And the worst part, you are teaching this to your children. You are normalizing the debt cycle. You are raising the next generation of rats. They see you swipe. They see you stress. They see you fight with your spouse about bills. They absorb the idea that happiness is something you buy on credit. You are infecting them with the virus of the poverty mindset, disguised as affluence. Now, let's talk about the social conditioning, the matrix aspect of this. Why do you feel the need to signal? Because we are social animals, and millions of years of evolution have taught us that status equals survival. If you were the high-status primate, you got the food, you got the mate, you survived the winter. But the system has hacked this evolutionary drive. They have hijacked your survival instinct and weaponized it against your bank account. They have convinced you that if you do not have the latest iPhone, the designer handbag, the right card, you will be cast out of the tribe and die alone in the cold. It is a lie. The reality is that nobody cares. This is the liberation you need. Nobody is thinking about you. They are too busy thinking about themselves and their own debt. When you flash that Amex, the waiter doesn't respect you. He just wants a tip. Your friends aren't impressed. They are jealous or indifferent. You are bankrupting yourself to impress an imaginary audience. You are burning your future to warm your ego for 5 seconds. So, what is the alternative? What does the exit from the labyrinth look like? It looks boring. It looks unsexy. It looks like discipline. It means becoming a ghost to the credit bureaus. It means opting out of the credit score game. It means living below your means, not just within them. It means if you cannot buy it twice with cash, you cannot afford it. It means driving a used car that you own the title to. It means wearing clothes that don't have logos. It means finding satisfaction in production, not consumption. You need to develop a visceral disgust for debt. You need to look at that credit card not as a tool of convenience, but as a chain. Every time you use it, you are adding a link to the chain. You need to embrace the concept of financial beef cattle. Stop being the cow. Stop chewing the cud of low-interest introductory offers and cashback rewards. Look at the slaughterhouse. Look at the banks posting record profits quarter after quarter. Where do you think that profit comes from? It comes from you. It comes from your late fees, your interest payments, your merchant transaction fees that raise the price of goods for everyone. You have to kill the poor premium inside you. You have to kill the part of you that needs validation from a piece of plastic. You need to find your validation in your bank balance, in your investment portfolio, in the deed to your land, in the freedom of waking up in the morning and knowing that you owe no man anything. That is power. That is the CEO mindset. Imagine a life where you don't know your credit limit because you don't have one. Imagine a life where you don't know your billing cycle date because you don't have a bill. Imagine walking into that same restaurant, eating that same steak, and paying with a debit card linked to a massive cash reserve, or better yet, slapping a stack of bills on the table. The feeling is different. It is heavy. It is real. It is final. The transaction is over. You leave the restaurant free. You don't carry the meal with you for the next 30 days. This path is hard. It requires you to swim upstream against a torrent of marketing, peer pressure, and biological impulses. The system will try to shame you. They will call you cheap. They will call you old-fashioned. They will say you are missing out on points. Let them talk. Let the rats squeak while they run on their wheels. You are building an escape tunnel. You are building a fortress of solitude where their interest rates cannot touch you. I want you to take a hard look at your wallet right now. Take out those cards. Look at them. Really look at them. They are not trophies. They are tracking devices. They are shackles. They are the symbols of your submission. Are you rich? Or do you just have a high limit? The difference is freedom. The difference is sleep. The difference is the ability to walk away from a boss, a situation, or a life you hate without worrying about how you will service the debt. The system wants you fragile. The system wants you dependent. The system wants you to need the next paycheck to pay for the last month's mistakes. Don't give them what they want. Be a glitch in the matrix. Be the anomaly. Be the one who saves, who invests, who owns. This is not just about money. It is about your soul. It is about who owns your time. It is about who owns your mind. As long as you are playing the credit game, they own you. You are working for Visa. You are working for MasterCard. You are working for American Express. You are an unpaid employee of the banking cartel. And you are paying them for the privilege of working there. Wake up. The dream of the high credit limit is a nightmare in disguise. It is a bottomless pit. Stop digging. Put down the shovel. Put down the card. Step out of the cage. The door was never locked. You were just too distracted by the shiny plastic to turn the handle. If you have read this far, if you have listened to this rant and felt that sting of recognition, that punch in the gut, then there is hope for you. You are starting to smell the rot in the system. You are starting to see the bars of the cage. I want you to leave a comment below. I want to know who the real ones are. I want you to write, I am not cattle. That is your mantra. You are not livestock to be milked for interest. You are not beef to be slaughtered for fees. You are a sovereign individual. Prove it. Reclaim your mind. Reclaim your wallet. Kill the rat. The next time you feel the urge to flash that card, remember this conversation. Remember that the feeling of power you get is fake. It is cheap dopamine. It is a lie. True power is silence. True power is ownership. True power is having the money, not the limit. Now, get back to work and build something real. The playtime is over. The lesson is finished. Now the real work begins.